The death of Orihime, Rocky in Squad 3 instead of Squad 13, and Ichigo's family running a funeral parlor instead of medical clinic. All these are scenarios and other events that could have happened in Bleach manga if Kubo hadn't changed them. Some of you may already know guys what I'm talking about when I mention these events, and some may think I've made this up, but they actually happened in the Bleach one-shot. This one-shot was published in Shonen Jump after Kubo's first work Zombie Power ended. The one-shot can be considered the foundation on which Kubo built many elements of the Bleach universe. While a lot changed, many ideas were well developed by Kubo in the manga. For this reason guys, let's revisit the most important elements from that one-shot that were replaced in the manga. So first of all guys, one of the core elements that remained unchanged was Ichigo's ability to see ghosts or souls. In the one-shot, Ichigo has this ability since childhood, especially because his father Isshin didn't own a medical clinic but rather a funeral home where he managed funeral arrangements, and as a result spirits or souls often gathered near to his workplace, and Ichigo likely saw them frequently near his home. And Kubo confirmed this detail when the early chapters of the manga were published. As we can see in Isshin's profile, Kubo noted that Isshin's job was changed at the last moment, from a funeral director to a doctor. And on the other hand, we see Ichigo was walking with a few souls around him, accompanied by, I think, Mizuru. The latter couldn't see souls but was aware of Ichigo's ability to see them. And so while they were discussing where to eat, Ichigo suddenly noticed something falling from the sky. It was Rukia, fighting a hollow. At the time, hollows could still take on semi-human forms without masks, and Ichigo was surprised by Rukia because he usually only saw ordinary souls. This was the first time he saw a girl wearing a black kimono and wielding a sword. So when he saw her preparing to attack the hollow, he intervened and stopped her. Rukia in turn was surprised by his ability to see her. While Ichigo explained to Rukia that he could see ghosts, the hollow transformed into another form, revealing the distinctive hollow hole, and the hollow was about to eat the 5 souls behind Ichigo. And this made Rukia to intervene and use all her power to protect the 5 souls, which drained her energy and shrunk her size. And since her shuriken form made it impossible for her to carry out her duties as a Shinigami, Rukia prepared Ichigo's soul to take over her role temporarily. And as we can see in these humorous scenes, she even took a bath in Ichigo's chocolate milk cup, and she explained that it would take 7 days and nights for her to fully recover, and until then Ichigo had to perform her duties. And here guys, there were many differences between manga Ichigo and the one-shot Ichigo when he first gained Shinigami powers. For example, in the one-shot he wielded Rukia's sword in its normal form rather than the huge form we seen in the manga. Also, hollows didn't yet have masks, and there was no concept of the Konsorisa ritual. Ichigo's task was simply to cut the chain of fate and give the soul a pass card. And that was all. Rukia also used her beautiful art to explain to Ichigo the role of the Shinigami, and the difference between spirits and hollows, and how hollows remove spirits from the cycle of life and turning them into other hollows. And while discussing when Ichigo's duties as a Shinigami would end, since it was his 7th day and Rukia's powers were expected to return, they suddenly received a message from the Soul Society about a new mission involving a soul that needed to be sent to the Soul Society. Ichigo thought it was an ordinary mission, but when he read the name, he was shocked. The soul was Orihime Inoue, who had died. And so Ichigo told Rukia that he knew Orihime because she was his classmate, and 3 years ago her father had passed away, and they brought him to Ichigo's home where his funeral was arranged. That's why Ichigo asked Rukia if someone sent to the Soul Society would remain there forever. Rukia explained that they would stay there for 60 years before being allowed to return to the human world. And there where Ichigo felt a kind of relief, thinking Orihime could stay with her father for a long time. Meanwhile, we see Orihime lying in front of a shrine. She realized she had died and mentioned something significant. She didn't want to die because she had planned to talk to Ichigo the next day. At that moment, Ichigo appeared and they spoke briefly before he got her chain of fate and gave her a pass card. But then Orihime's father suddenly appeared. Ichigo was shocked. but Orihime's father explained to him that he had heard about her death in the Soul Society, so he came, and this gave Ichigo some relief because, as we said, he wanted Orihime to reunite at least with her father. However, in a sudden twist, it was revealed that Orihime's father had become a hollow. Yes, the story of Orihime's father in the one-shot is very similar to the story of her brother in the manga, with the major difference being that in the one-shot it was her father and Orihime herself had died. And this leads to a dramatic fight between Ichigo and Orihime's father, who tore up the pass card and revealed that he had killed Orihime so she would be with him, and he claimed Ichigo was one of the reasons Orihime had begun forgetting him. And in the end, the battle concluded with Orihime stabbing herself with the sword, which extended into her father and defeated him. Afterward, Ichigo prepared to send Orihime to the Soul Society, and Rukia seemed to open a gate similar to the Senkaimon. However, at the end of the chapter, it was revealed that Rukia couldn't accompany Orihime to the Soul Society because her request was denied, due to her actions in the past days, and most likely transferring her Shinigami powers to Ichigo. And that was the end of the one-shot. As you can see guys, Kubo planted many future ideas in it. For example, Rukia being the reason Ichigo became a Shinigami. And Kubo later developed this plot very well in the manga, where the event was much more dramatic and impactful. Isshin's job was changed, hollows were given masks, and the concept of the existence was expanded, and Orihime's story was also changed, but the emotional core of the family member turning into a hollow and wanting to take her back remained intact. And also guys, as we have seen, Rukia was initially in a squad called the Third Squad. I'm not sure if it was part of the Goji 13 or something else, because it's true that Rukia was the first character Kubo ever designed, even before Ichigo. However, we don't know if Kubo had already the idea of the Goji 13 at the time or not. And another detail is Rukia's Zanpakuto. In the manga, when Ichigo acquired that Zanpakuto, it was very big, but in the one-shot it appeared to be the same size as a regular sword. And also guys, I think Kubo hadn't yet fully developed the idea of the Hollow World, Wikomondo, at the time. However, the main idea that Rukia explained about hollows removing souls from the cycle of rebirth was something similar to what happened in the original world. In that world, hollows were a central cause of chaos, devouring humans and disrupting the balance. Indeed guys, what do you think about the one-shots events? Did you like it? For me, I liked all of its events, especially how Kubo managed to develop the story very well and give it more details, especially about many concepts. And also, obviously, that from the start he wanted Ichigo with Orihime. So tell me guys your opinions in the comments and see you in my next video.